Hello again, Lori here from Gathering Time and Grace. Oh, I finally have my little journal done here. That took a little bit. Today is very dull out and kind of chilly, so I'm hoping maybe by the weekend we get a little bit of heat. Anyway, I have this Lady of the Manor yellow journal to share today. I'm in love with this journal. Really, I really like it. I made like a topper for it here. And I'll get this topper off. So we have the three sisters going over their gardening budget for the manor, and I added some lace in yellow, and I have a little envelope here that my girlfriend made me, Kim, and I put in this little lady here doing her hair in the garden or in her patio with her plants. And then this is from the girls' own journal. And they're up in the hills there watching the ships go by and the sailboats. So yes, this journal is 7 by, I believe, 8 with a 2-inch spine. And it's the lacquered cover. It's beautiful, and it's made by Otaguri. There was a stain on the back, so I added some labels just to kind of cover it. And I have floof at the top because I love floof. And beautiful, beautiful yellow lace that I've used inside. So let's take a wander through. I put an envelope here. I usually do that, and put my thank you card there. We have some tatting up here, and I added some Tim Holtz ladies walking underneath the arches there. And the first page, I have my favorite spring flower, which is a dandelion. Yes, I know, it's a weed, but I love it none the same. And some more tatting. And most of the items in here, the vintage receipts and such, are from Tracey at Tracey Tries Journaling, and Nancy from Wishes and Weeds when she has her live sales, which are always a riot. If she does one again, get in on it. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, here we have, and then I've used most of the items other than that are from the books that I have on gardening, and I've just taken pieces out and made items. So this here pocket actually is from Nancy, and I decorated it and just put a bridge card thing in there because that's so pretty. There we go. And the yellow paper I dyed. The first batch I dyed with turmeric. The second batch I dyed with yellow food dye, which I think I preferred, but both turned out. And we have, I put 5 little clusters in. I know they add quite a bit of bulk to the book, but gosh, they're so pretty. And I loved this book here with all of the images and beautiful artwork around the pages. So I used quite a few of these in this journal. And we have the ladies' own journal, or own paper, which this one is from 1893. So I did use several pages from that and different items throughout the book. And then this was a gardening book, so I took pages from it to use in the Manor book. And of course we have Sears and Roebuck and Eaton's items for gardening, shovels. So yeah, scoop shovels, long-handled, any shovel you want. And Edith, of course. You can't have a gardening journal without Miss Edith Holden. It's so pretty. And here's a Franken paper with George Weston biscuit department. And all of the things that they ordered came to $16.55, and this is from 1925. And this little pocket here, I believe, came from Nancy. And then I put a little tag in here about the vegetable garden. And floofy lace, and my dandelions. There's several dandelions in this journal. And we have the Spittle Brothers fur hats, caps, gloves. And I had a bunch of yellow tags, so I decided this was the perfect book to use them in, so I decorated them. This one has a little pocket. And the ledger from my antique ledger book, I used that in here as well. This here center spread is Edith, and then a pocket on either side with a dandelion playing card, and then a floral rose there. Here's the other side of the receipt here for $6.75. And I used my embossing folder. I don't buy too much brand new. I usually try to source everything used, but I did buy the dandelion embossing folder for my Sizzix because, well, I needed it. And here we have an antique postcard. I can't find the date on this one, but it is a 1-cent stamp, so I'm assuming early 1900s maybe. And then the back I left as a pocket. And then we have in each, in 4 of the signatures, there is 5 signatures. I cut out these little things here for the different seasons. And we have March, the little chick, and the eggs. And daffodils, of course, for March. And more Edith. And I made a little, well, I embossed that with the dandelion folder, and then I made a little journaling spot here. And then I have a whole stack of these yellow receipts, so I did use several in here as well. More on gardening for the Manor. And I colored this little picture and tore it out and glued it in here. And here we have the 3 sisters. They are enjoying some time in the garden after a busy day of work. And another journaling card. Just used pieces from the book that I was using. And more of that. This one is the turmeric dyed paper. And it did not take, I laid over the placemats and stuff, but it didn't take. And then I used several of the Anne Griffin die cuts that I had got there at the thrift store. And then the back of the dandelion here. And then I used the Jan, what's the name of that book? I forget. Anyway, more of the tatting. Beautiful images in that book. And then another little pocket here. This one's a double pocket. And this is when their mother got dressed up for the ball. Another little cluster. And I made a couple of hidden paper clips. And here's their committee member tag from the Garden Society. And more advertisements from the reproduction catalogs for different items needed. Another big tag here with a family photograph with Tim Holtz people. And more vintage receipts. And we have some yellow birds here, meadowlarks, and the grosbeak and the oriole. I haven't seen an oriole yet this year. I usually have them, so I don't know whether it's just too early or too cold. And here's lawnmower and a scythe that they're going to need to cut down the far field so they can plant more flowers. And here's a fussy cut of butterflies and some crochet. And I cut this out. They have a bowl of dandelions because they're going to be making dandelion wine. My dad used to do that. It's so gross. Anyway. And this middle spread here is got a little You could glue this and make it an actual pocket or just like a little side tuck here. There's more of the turmeric dyed paper. Here we have a little up tuck made with a cluster with the dandelion card. Love this. Covered up the printing here and just for a little bit of extra journaling space. There's quite a bit of journaling space within this book. Daffodils. This here Tracey just sent me actually, so I fussy cut it and added it at the last minute. Thanks, Tracey. And I don't know if I mentioned, this has 5 signatures. There's approximately 200 pages, and it's done with a hollowback spine. And I did have to actually make a new spine for this, as this had been a photo album actually. Here's the summer. More of the die cuts. Place to journal. Lovely little mama bird feeding the baby. And more of that beautiful tatting. And more of these beautiful, beautiful pages. And we have the girl's own paper, Lily White, the Extreme Summer Number. I'm not sure what that's about, but it sounded appropriate. Textile importer. Here's another little page here. We have another little tuck here. Here's 2 of the sisters catching fireflies at night in the garden on the Manor property. There's a little cluster here. Whoops, now I have to glue that back on. And Fred Millman Grocery, and 10 granulated sugar cost $65.50 in 1925. Well, there you go. Here's another tag I made, and it has a little spot here for some extra little items. And then underneath it is the girl's own paper from 1893. Little fussy cut butterfly or moth. And beautiful, beautiful sunflowers. Make sure I'm in frame. And I made a little over the page kind of a holder thing here, placeholder. Of course I won't be able to get it back on. This piece here came from Tracey recently as well. And then we have beautiful, beautiful water lilies with a dragonfly. More writing space. Little wallpaper sample. And here's more wallpaper samples from the Manor. And then we have I made this postcard. It's from Paris, which of course is their dream to go for a trip to Paris. Here's another little over the page clip thing here. And more of the yellow receipts. And I took some of the stamps and cut this off and just made a little corner thing here. And it can be a little tuck under there. And more of that beautiful book. Gosh, I like that book. And then here I had fussy cut this out of the book, and I made another little tag here. And the end of the third signature. And here's a little tuck spot behind here, the little bird. And little Edith with some tatting. And here's the other paper, hidden paper clip with a little cluster. And here is the ledger. The Cosia lawsuit, $988 from 1913. Curious what the lawsuit was about. I couldn't find any information on it. Another yellow receipt, the back of that yellow receipt there. And another little pocket here. This one is a double pocket. And here's their mother again with their pet dog sitting in the garden. And this here little baggie with a little tuck here. These were from Nancy, and of course, Dandelion card. And here's another Beaver Lumber Company Limited, 1940 something. Whatever was purchased, skirting, I think that says, $2.70. Little map of the West Coast. And we have here when to sow and how to grow, just as a little reminder for their vegetable garden. Here's beautiful, beautiful plants, meadow plants. And the other side of the map. And we have the frog band. And the lizard's playing the flute, the cricket is playing a horn, the bee is playing a horn, and the mouse is playing the drums. And we have two little ones dancing here. Oh, and he's on the toadstool playing the fiddle. And here we have just a round circle I made as a little pocket with this yellow bird here. And this, I believe, is Dutch, so I cannot read it. And we have the community chest go to jail card from a vintage Monopoly game. Another little cluster. Beautiful hats. And sweet peas. Lawn grass. So these are all items they would like for their manor garden. Another little cluster there. And autumn. And here is another yellow envelope with the, I cut the flap off and put in a antique postcard, and I don't believe, oh, this one's 1911. And another little pocket here. This is done with some vintage wallpaper and two antique German die cuts. And I took some stamps and made a belly band with these beautiful roses here, playing card. And more of the Anne Griffin die cuts. And we're on the last signature here. We have another Edith with, again, the beautiful tatting. And lots of journaling space. Now, the food dye that I used, it did very slightly take the placemat. Not well though, so that was interesting. Little cluster there. Another one of those beautiful pages. Excuse me. And then we have the girls' own paper here, out and enjoying some outdoor life. And this ledger here is from the Point Edward Elevator Company, 1903 to 1910. The balance owed. And here we have an advertisement for pitchforks and hoes and all kinds of things required for gardening. And here we have just some pictures of flowers, and then an advertisement for a scooter, which they're hoping to have or to purchase to get around the property. And here we have, you can always glue this up and make pockets and decorate the front, but I just left them. And another little pocket, the yellow receipt. And we have some picks and different items that might be needful. Pitchforks. And here we have another little booklet for writing And I embossed it with the dandelion embosser. This pocket here, I had got a yellow quilt square from Nancy at Wishes and Weeds, so I made a little pocket out of it. And there's a little spot here you can put stuff to. And yellow birds. More receipts. Finish of the map there. Mock orange. Here we have a advertisement from, a reproduction advertisement from a book that I have for the picnic in the town of Barrie. And then we have here, I embossed a check that came from Tracey, but it didn't work out so well, so I just glued it onto this tag here, and it has a little pocket as well. And here we have the winter, and then we have the back page here, the Lady of the Manor, and a little pocket here with some daisies. So that is the book. Here's the spine with a little bit of floof on it. I'm loving this journal so much. Really like it a lot. So that is the Yellow Manor journal. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope everyone takes care, and we will talk again soon. Bye-bye.